Hi everyone, I have a new larger project to do with you today. This is from Twilight Garden by Maria Trolle, and I've been asked if I could do a video with this page here. Now this will be broken down into a few different videos. We are going to start with the owl today. The book, I'm trying to remember if it tells us the flower types in the back. It doesn't, so we're going to have to guess what the different flowers and things are, but that's fine. I decided to grab my Black Widow pencils just because we've got a lot of small details and I think they'll be useful. Now I have the spider set, the Cobra set, the scorpion set and the 2 skin tone sets. I've got the skin tone sets out because obviously there's no skin tone here, but there's a lot of lovely colours in the skin tones which I think might work nicely for the flowers or for the owl and things like that. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to start with the owl and do a few different shades of browns I think for our owl. I'm thinking I want the outside leaves to be darker and the tummy to be lighter, so that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with quite a dark brown. I have here in the scorpion set a pencil cord. Let's come in a bit closer so you can just see the owl. This one's called Dark Chocolate, so that's where I'm going to start, scorpion. So with the feathers, I want to make them look like they're overlapping each other a little bit. So I'm going to colour them darker at the top by layering up this colour and then fading it down a little bit towards the bottom of the feather like that. Try and do it so it's fairly smooth if I can, and I'm going to do that all the way across, and hopefully we'll get they'll stand out a little bit, hopefully. Now you could use several colours for this. You could use even a bit of black at the top, then your dark chocolate, then a lighter brown on the tips to help you, but maybe I'm a bit lazy, but I find it easier to just try and do it all with one pencil. It means that you don't have to think about matching up those browns so they work well together, and it's quicker because you're not constantly swapping out pencils as well. So yeah, as I say, maybe I'm lazy. But hopefully now I'm putting the next layer in, you may be able to see the sort of three-dimensional effect that I was sort of going for, with making sure that it's really dark just where they overlap, so it looks a bit like their shadow there, and you can sort of see the separate layers of feathers. It's a similar technique. Well, this is exactly the same technique as I would use for overlapping fish scales, roof tiles, things like that. It's just a really simple way of doing it. You can really go in here with the black if you want it to really look like it's layered, but I think I want it to look fairly smooth. You can make it look like they really stand out, but then they would be sort of ruffled, and I don't know if they would be. You know, there would be layers of feathers, but I think it'd be nice for them to, it's nice for them to look a little bit smoothed down, if you understand what I mean. The sun is shining this morning. My solar panel inverter is humming away, creating electricity, which is good because this camera's plugged in and the light's on, which might mean that maybe I'm using it, maybe it's free electric. We use a surprisingly large amount of electric. Our solar panels are quite old and they don't really produce that much power. Some people trying to decide whether to keep these the same, and I am going to, although they're drawn differently. I want, as I say, I want the wings to sort of frame the owl, so I think this really dark colour, I just want to continue with it through this each sort of wing, really. Yeah, my neighbour's just had some solar panels in, and she said hers are really making a big difference in generating a lot of electricity, and she's also got a battery, which we haven't got because we don't really produce enough. So she's finding it really exciting looking at her app and checking. I mean, ours is too old, we don't have an app, but I think ours are about 10 years old, they've paid for themselves by now, which is really good. But we did have, any of you if in the UK will know, we had a government incentive called FIT, which is for each unit of electricity we produce, we get paid, sort of rewarded. It was an incentive to try and get people to put solar panels on their houses, but they've stopped that now. But apparently the solar panels are now so much more efficient at producing electricity that they pay for themselves a lot more quickly. So they've taken the incentive away. I'm just trying to work out where this ends. I think that's the edge of the leaf there. I think we might be going across into here, like that. That's the end of that bit, and I think we just got a little bit in here. I think that's right. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to see exactly what's going on, but I give it a good guess. That's all you can do. I have been known to, on many occasions, go and look up other people's versions of the pictures and see what they've done. And sometimes you think, oh, that makes sense. And other times you think, no, they didn't know either. So, and actually it's quite, I used to be quite active in one of the Johanna Basford colouring groups, and that will be quite useful for things like that. You could just ask people, what's this? The thing is, of course, that Johanna particularly will sometimes just make things up. So you go, what's this flower? And be like, she's made it up. You know, so you can't, you've got no idea. But it's sometimes just nice to know. It gives you a sort of clue with regards to the colour. But here we don't have that either, so I'm going to give it a guess, see what we can, what there is. Can I hear my my boiler coming on? I think my heating might be on a bit, although it's really sunny. It's not that warm yet, and we do just. I need to get my washing dry, so I've left the heating on because my son got up this morning and I noticed that his hoodie was all dirty. He'd been helping me cook. I think that was why. It's not from eating. It's not messy. So he put it. But he'd put one in the wash this morning. So it's like, oh. And he said, oh, it's fine, Mum. I just, he sort of sponged it off and said, I'll wear my coat all day. But I'm thinking, it's so hot. I don't want to wear a coat all day. So I wanted to get that dry for him, his spare hoodie. The sun keeps coming in and out. I don't know how much it affects the light on the video, but you know what I'm doing. I'm doing the same thing over and over at the minute, so it's not really anything that you need to see. Oh, my nose wants to run. It's terrible when I was outside. Went for a walk and it was so windy and my eyes were just streaming. I was crying as I was walking along. I wasn't. I was enjoying it, looking at all the flowers and the lovely new spring leaves and things like that. And there we go. Now you can spend a bit more time than me and get your definitions of colours a little bit more, done a bit more. So, for example, under here, I think needs a bit more. I'm just going to do it quickly and roughly. And then I've got to think about what colour to do the tummy. I'm thinking a lighter, I want a lighter brown. But we do have these acorns here. So I've got to have a think about that as well. Because there'll be a sort of... the acorns I would think I would do with a dark brown base. I've got other dark browns I can use. And a more of a warm brown. trying to see what I've got. Maybe the chestnut or something. So I'm thinking just a really pale one for the chest. I'm wondering about one of those skin tones, but maybe I'll just use this one. Let's go for the dark tan. This is again from the Scorpion set. It's quite a more yellowy, warmer colour. And I'm going to use the same technique. It may not show up so much in this paler colour. Just try and fade it down. Also, we've got less space. Just going to hold the page still as I go for it. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm having a look at the rest. So we've got little feathers like this in the face, and I'm thinking I might use the same colour for that. So it's sort of got a bit of consistency. I quite like repeating the use of the same colour through a little bit. I've also been looking at the outside of here. We've got repeats. We've got 2 lots of toadstools there. This flower is the same. This flower is the same. This flower is the same as this one. So I might not show you every single element. I might do one flower and then you know, they'll be the same. I'll have a think. It depends. Excuse me. It depends if I decide to do them all the same. I think I will. I like doing the same things, the same colours, for a number of reasons. Firstly, if I do millions of colours in my picture, it can often look like a big messy mishmash. I don't know why. Other people can pull it off and look amazing, but just not me. Also, I think it can help the eye to sort of pair up colours somehow. And I'm thinking, because there's Maria has drawn it so that some of the flowers are the same, I think she probably wanted it to be balanced and meant for them to be the same colours, maybe, you know. She's the artist, I'm just a colorist, so I think I'm going to sort of do them the same, and I think that might be what she had sort of planned. So I'm going to work right down through. This looks a slightly autumnal picture to me. It's probably not the right time of year to be colouring acorns, but anyway, and berries. But there's never a wrong time of year for colouring berries. Love colouring berries. So that's fine. Fine with me anyway. But with the brown owl, it's going to look quite autumnal, I should imagine, when I've got finished. Oh, I'm getting writer's cramp. It's unusual for me. I'm going so fast. I know one of you commented the other day, sorry I can't remember who it was, I get lots of comments saying they have to keep pausing because I go really fast, and yeah, I'm aware. I didn't used to colour really fast, and I still don't colour as fast as Chris Cheng does, but hers is speeded up. At least it's real time. But yeah, when I watch a Chris Cheng, my goodness, I think it takes me 6 times longer to colour a page, but I don't know whether that's the case with you with mine, but I try to I don't try to go slowly necessarily, because I don't want to. I know some people are quick anyway, and if I'm colouring the same thing over and over like I am here, I don't think you need to keep seeing it. So I don't think you're really seeing a difference in the, like here, because this is a pale colour. Can't really see that I'm doing less layers near the bottom than the top of each of these little feathery bits. So it might not have been the best choice of colour. Being really careful around this bit. Trying to make sure I don't colour over those acorns. Just not because it really matters, because I could erase it or just not worry too much about it, but I just want to be able to see which bit's acorn and which bit's feather. make it a bit easier for me. So most of Maria Trolle's books do have in the back the names of the flowers and the creatures, but this one doesn't. I don't know whether it's her first book. I'm going to look at the date. It's 2017, so it's quite an early one. So maybe she didn't do it at the beginning. I don't know. Or maybe it's because this is a special edition version. No, it's not. That's my Botanicum. It's a special edition version. I don't know. Maybe she just didn't do it. Maybe people asked her, so she did it later. But some of you may know. I don't know. But, we'll see. Now, I'm just trying to work out how far we go. Sort of in here. Like that. There we go. Okay, should we do this colour for the face, or should we do something different? Maybe something different. What have we got? We've got loads of browns in the spider set. I'm thinking we might go dark again for this little bit around here. So I've grabbed the Huntsman from the spider set. Now if you don't have your Black Widows, you should be able to find some browns in other sets to just colour along with. See, I'm trying to keep it a bit darker at the top there, and then a bit lighter as we go down here. Could do with getting a few replacements for some of my spider set. Was one of my first very early set of pencils. They've lasted really well. Some pencils I've had since have worn down a lot more quickly. I think these are reasonably hard, and so they don't break very often in the sharp. I've had one that did. I think because it came a long way in the post, it may have got bashed. You know, I don't think it was so much the fault of the pencil. I'm trying to make this bit a bit darker around here where these little lines are. Anyway, so these have lasted me really well, and I do use them, you know. So you can buy them open stock by emailing the person who, someone on, I think it's their Facebook page, but I haven't tried it yet, but I will. Now, the face one, I think I'm going to do them lighter again, but let's use the Foxy brown. This is again from the spider set. So it's similar but not identical, and again I want to try and colour them a bit darker where they're overlapping compared to the tip. Yes, this pencil's getting a bit short. I've got shorter ones. The greens, shorter. Makes sense, doesn't it? Always colouring green things. So I'm thinking about these eyes. Now, I often look up what colour owls' eyes are because we get them a lot in pictures. Now this one's been drawn with a white bit here. It's like a human eye. I don't think owls really have eyes that look like that, but I think we'll keep it as it's been drawn, but we'll do the iris, I think, in a sort of orange, because I think it will stand out then, which I think will look pretty. So the Black Widow pencils, if you haven't got them, they are hardish. You have to layer them up. They're not smushy and like a Prisma. I like them because they keep their point well. They're good for smaller details, which is why I picked them for this page, because there's a lot of little gaps to fill. and you can get them sharp and get them into those spaces better than you can with something like a Prisma or a Lightfast or a Luminance or something like that, you know. Even an Arteza I struggle with a little bit. You have to sharpen them a little bit more. I am just going to sharpen this one. But yeah, I know some people aren't a fan. It's also very personal with pencils. There's so many different types out there to try. And see, certain pencils I just get along with immediately, and certain pencils take me a while to learn. These I found my very first pencils were Staedtler Ergosofts, no, Noris, then Ergosofts, and so I got very used to a harder pencil. Then I moved to Polys and Staedtler for ages, that's all I had. Then I got these, Set of Castle Botanicum, no, it's Maria Trolle book, and then these, and then I just started getting lots of different sets after that. But the ones that took me the longest to learn were the Derwent Lightfast and Prismas, and they're so very different to these because they're much softer. And I found with the Derwents, if you press too hard, they go really thick and weird. So you have to, there's a technique. And they're also, Derwents seem to break a fair bit. Some people don't struggle with that, I do. This is the Tarantula I'm going to use for these bits. And I don't like to criticise Derwent because they're British, but I think they're quite expensive. But I do like the Chroma Flow a lot, and the Colour Soft. But the Lightfast, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I found those harder to get used to than the others. But I have different moods when I want to use different type of pencil. I don't know if you guys are the same. Yeah, sometimes I want to use a softer pencil. It depends on the picture as well, and the types of colours I want to use, because some sets of pencils have a really different type of colour set, you know. I've just got the Tombow Erogeton, is that how you say it? I don't know. And they've got some really unique colours in them that you can't get in other sets. I'm still getting used to them. My husband bought them for me, and I love the feel of them, and they blend really nicely, well, they layer really nicely, so I really like that. But yeah, still getting used to them. Next I'm going to go, I want another dark brown, and I'm going to use this one. This is the dark skin colour, I think, called Chocotone, and I'm going to do it around the eye with this. I'm interested to see how different it is from those two browns. Are really quite similar. So that one on the wings was the, did I use the Huntsman? No, I used the dark chocolate for that. That's the Huntsman, and this is the, they're all fairly similar, but I haven't swatched them together. This one is a little bit redder, I would say. But it's quite interesting how similar some of them can be. Okay, we've got the eyelid I'm going to do in this colour too, but I'm going to fade it up like that because it would be rounded if you think about an eyelid. So it'd be darker down here, there'd be more shadow. Hopefully it'll make it look a bit more shapely. I don't know how well you can see. So dark here, lots of layers, less layers here, less here, less here, very few here. So it still looks brown, but a lighter tone shade. There we go. Now I've got this bit on the top. I haven't decided what I'm doing for that. Maybe we could use this one. This is again from the dark skin tone set, and it is called Cinnamon. I find this one quite useful. I've been playing around with these skin tone pencils, and actually this one I used for, I did quite pale skin and I used a bit of this for some sort of shading and shadow. I haven't tried a dark skin yet. I'm going to. I've actually got a tutorial book with, I can't remember which one it is, whether it's Jennifer Zimmerman or Helen Elliston's book, but I've got a dark skin tone tutorial, so I need to have a look at those, and because I'd like to do some. I need to pick the right picture as well to have a go, but I think dark skin is so pretty. I'd love to learn how to do it, so I will do that at some point, teach myself. Well, the book will teach me. I'm teaching myself really, am I? So you see I'm going darker in here and lighter up here. This is quite a reddish colour, isn't it? There we go. And now on the orange eyes, I am going to find a bright orange. I think this one, this is the pumpkin from the spider set. And I'm going to put a lightish layer of this across the whole thing. Quite vibrant, isn't it? There we go, and then take a slightly darker orange. This one might work. I think this looks quite dark. Oh, this is the carrot from the skin tone, light skin tone set. And I need to sharpen it. I don't know if it's actually as dark as I thought it might be. I'm just going to darken it. Actually, that's making it brighter, not darker. Oh well, we'd have to even it across. But no, I want something that's more like a browny colour, I think. Let's use the brown bug. This is from the scorpion set. The brown bug from the scorpion set. And just go into here just lightly, just to create a little shadowy part. That's better. That's what I wanted. There we go. So there is mainly done with beak. I'd quite like it to be quite vibrant. I think I'm going to grab the egg yolk from the spider set and start it with that. Just not as vibrant as I thought. Let's layer it up a bit. There we go. Need a few layers. But I don't want it just flat. So I want to darken that a bit. I'm going to use the Nugget. Whoops, this is from the Cobra set. Okay, it's a bit confusing, doesn't it, going back and forth, different sets. Make it a bit darker on the side. Oh, it's a train. I'm not sure, it's not showing up that much. Just layer it a bit. There we go. Okay, now I think I'm going to just do these acorns before I finish. Oh. Just got to move my pencils up so I can move the page up, because I'm just checking. Actually, we've got some here, and some here. What I'm going to do is do one, and then I'm going to do the rest not on camera, so we can do a little bit of homework. So for the dark brown, I'm going to grab a dark brown I haven't used, and then it won't sort of clash with the owl. There is a dark brown here called Mud in the skin tone. What a name. Dark skin tone. I'm just going to sharpen it slightly and show you how I'm going to do these. So each of these little cases I'm going to go over with a very light layer, really gentle pressure, and then try and colour each individual one and fade it towards the tip. They're quite small, so it's a little bit of a challenge, but I think I can do it. Now the wood, I'm going to do the same thing. So a light layer, and the same like for these bits that link onto the leaves, and then around the edge I'm going to make that darker. I realise some of the bits are a little narrow, so you just have to do the whole bit like that and just leave that there. And then for the actual, what's the name of the thing? Acorn. I'll get there in a minute. I want a sort of reddish brown. I'm just looking to see whether that's going to work. I think that's a little bit too red. I've got a chestnut here, but I think it's too red. I want a brown. What's that one like? Yeah, I don't think we've got quite the right one. Maybe, yeah, I think I'm going to start with the Negra, which is from the dark skin tone, and put a light layer on, like that. Then I'm just going to darken that area where it's been marked that it should be darker, like that. Then I'm going to take a different colour to finish it. I'm thinking the Toadstool is going to be a good colour. This is from the from the spider set, and just go right over it all. And I'm hoping for a warm, it's a bit orangey, isn't it? I think I'm going to have to go over it in a yellowy colour just to finish off. That one, the Stinkbug. Just to warm it. There we go. I'm happy with that. So that's what I'm going to do for every acorn. There's a set here and a few more here, look. There is a set here and a set here. And I'm also going to do the leaves. Now the leaves are quite complexly drawn with lots of detailing in. I'm not going to worry about all that detail. I'm actually going to leave them quite plain. I rather like this olive green. I'm going to use this from the Scorpion set. Okay, and I'll just show you. So I'm just going to put a layer down really. First, I'm doing a fairly heavy layer. It's certainly not a light layer by any stretch of the imagination. Like this. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of brown around the edge and put another layer on. So I'm just trying to choose what colour. I think I am going to pick the chestnut brown. This is from the Cobra set. Okay, and just go lightly around, because remember this is a slightly autumnal picture, and oak leaves can go quite brownish on their edges. I was looking at the spring leaves and noticing how red they are, which is quite interesting. When they first sprout, they've got a lot of red in them. Okay, like that. And then back to the olive green. I'm going to put it over the top and just darken those edges a bit. All the way around. Now the centre I want a little bit lighter, so I'm going to put a yellowish colour on. I'm thinking a lemony yellow. I've got one there. That's sand. Got a lemon there. Gold. Light yellow. I think this is going to work quite well. This is one of our skin tones. It's called Sunburst, but I think it looks quite lemony. I'm going to use that in the middle. Oh yeah. Perfect. We'll make that leaf more vibrant. Can you see? Oh, I like that. Right, so that's a leaf and an acorn. I am gonna finish all my acorns and oak leaves now. I will take a photo and it will come up in a minute at the end of the video so you can have a look. And so your homework, if you're colouring along, is to finish that little bit before the next video. Although you know, you can wait, but you might want to have a go. I'm still not sure about the owl's eyes with the white, but I think I'm gonna leave it like that. But I'll have a think. If I change my mind, I'll change it in the next video. But that's us for now. As I say, there'll be a picture in a minute of the acorns and leaves completed, so you can have a little look. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a super day and happy colouring.